Oh, man, we got a Saturday edition of the Black Files. Don't we have that?
Yeah, it's
We
been a
showing up
while.
due.
It's been a
Been a
while.
little while. You know what I mean? Been a little while. Been hibernating a little bit. It's the winter time. Been hibernating a little bit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But we have a full curriculum for y'all right before Super Bowl Sunday. All right, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you guys are staying warm and safe. All right, as we bear through these last 5.5 weeks of cold for some people. Maybe some of y'all got maybe about 7.5 weeks. Maybe some of y'all got about 10. I don't know. I'm just speaking on Cali. We got about like 5.5. But yeah, man, we're here. You know what I'm saying? Black Files episode 23 of them things, man. 23 of them things, which we're about to be the longest running show on Intellectual Soapbox, period. You know what I'm saying? Which is we're gonna surpass the late great QB pretty soon. I know she has around I think like 25 shows, and we are on the march, to basically being the number one show on Intellectual Soapbox. And that is a testament to the Black Files itself and just the following. Thank y'all always for asking about the Black Files. I know you guys always are trying to figure out when is it coming on, when is it coming back. You know what I mean? We know we have developed a cult following for the Black Files. The numbers have been very great for this show. More great than any of the other shows that literally on this network. I'm just being honest from an honest standpoint. And thank y'all for giving us our first 1K view video on the channel. Know what I mean? Yes, we are on now, Smitty. Yes, we definitely are. We definitely are on now. Know what I mean? So yeah, thank y'all for giving our first 1K view video of the network. We are so happy that you guys have done that. Thanks for the feedback. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for trying to figure out what we're doing. Know what I mean? Yeah, I know it's daylight still. I know. Um, but but yeah, like thank y'all for all your questions and all your inquiries and you trying to figure out what the show's really about. And if for anybody who wants to come on the show, link is always pinned in the chat. You know what I mean? Y'all can always just come up and just join the show if you like. You know what I mean? If you have any type of questions as far as like, you know what I mean, just like, how can you be on the show or how can you contribute? Or if you have any ideas, man, hit us up on IG. Okay, you can find us on IG. It's not hard to find us. Also, you know what I mean, you can also, um if you have like any type of social media that you're connected to us to, you know what I mean, whether it's an email or whatever else, and we're connected directly, hit up me and and Lola. You know what I mean? We are always open to do topics. We're always open to discuss things, no matter what it is. It could be, science, religion. It could be, the paranormal, whatever y'all want to discuss. We're here. Just remember that when you come up here and you discuss it, we're not gonna hold back. Okay,
Right,
not gonna
right.
hold back. Not this ain't a place for you to think that we're not gonna say what we feel because we are. You know what I mean? Because that's what the Black Files is about. We're gonna go, you know what I mean, and talk about things that are not the most, that's out of the ordinary. That's what the show is based upon. And yes,
Okay.
definitely 70 more subs to get monetized. Mm. Thank you guys for your viewership and everything else. You know what I'm saying, and your support. We do appreciate that. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, continue to show that, man. We definitely acknowledge and appreciate that. But enough of the promotion and everything else. Lola, what's going on? You know what I mean? How are you doing? What's good? You know what I mean? Let us know where you at. Talk to us.
Well, I'm doing better. As you know, I might sound a little under the weather, but that's because I've been under the weather the past couple of weeks. So I'm kind of getting back, but I'm okay. I'm better now. I'm still high on amphetamines, whatever that is. Not crack cocaine, okay, but whatever that other stuff is. And I'm doing okay. As always, I don't know what I'm walking into here, so. But I am walking, okay. So yeah. Oh, and I wanted to say we probably have to do one of these shows, like a review of some of our more controversial shows, like in the past, like find some clips, and kind of like, what I mean, just kind of rehash it just a little bit. But yeah, I think that would be I think it would be fun, I think it would be fun.
Definitely, I definitely agree with that. You know what I mean? Us kind of digging the archives. Now we don't know if we're gonna do that for like episode 25 or episode 30. We're not gonna tell you, okay? We ain't gonna tell you. Understand the clip show is coming very soon. All right, we're gonna do one for y'all. You know what I mean? He said antihistamine. But I figure
That one. Yeah, that
I had
one.
night care last night.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that one. Yeah. Look at y'all got all the big words. Y'all got all the words.
Hey, I've been doing good. I haven't caught nothing yet. You know what I'm saying? I've been really keeping my water intake high and all that. I mean, taking some stuff or whatever just to keep myself know what I mean, good and all that. So yeah, know what I mean, I've been able to keep things shaking off. You know what I'm saying? You know, shout out to the bee pollen, shout out to the know what I mean, to the manuka honey and all that. I mean, and all the other stuff I'm taking.
I just heard about manuka honey. I just heard about it like yesterday. I just heard about that. I don't even really know what it is, but I heard about it in terms of like a natural way to preserve one's skin or whatever the case may be. So I said, I want to try that. It's like a skin routine or whatever. But I just heard about that, so I'm really, I can't even act like I'm down with it because I don't even know.
Yeah, it's good. It's good for your immune system. So is bee pollen. So is I do these magnesium shots. The number one thing though, veggies, water, and of course your sleep. Okay, you know what I mean. You must get some sleep. Especially now because it'll help your immune system. You know what I mean, a lot. In the summertime, you maybe could party and not get that much sleep, but in the wintertime, you better take it behind the bed. You know what I mean? Because that'll help you fight off all the germs you need to fight. Yeah, you gotta take the manuka honey. You gotta take the manuka honey, man. You can't forget. You can't play around. Not right now. It's real right now. You know what I mean? If you want to avoid the flu and all that, then throw that manuka honey in there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, y'all. All right, let's get it going. Okay, let me pull up the first video that we got today. All right. Let me get to it. Okay. Shout out to all the people who have provided this great and wonderful content that we're about to throw on y'all. Okay. And please, you know what I'm saying? Please remember, fair use only. I am not using this because, you know what I mean? If any other reason, it's only fair use and it's only me reacting to it. All right. You know what I mean? No, we don't Billy Carson or anybody else. We just reacting and we just showing, love to what you're saying. But fair use, and here we go.
Into a covenant to seek the Lord, the God of their fathers, with their heart and their soul, and everyone who will not seek the Lord, the God of Israel, was put to death. A lot of this came out after the 10 Commandments, by the way. So the 10 Commandments came out in the beginning, thou shalt not kill, and the next thing, kill non-believers. They entered into a covenant to
Wow. He just say that? No, he didn't say that. He didn't say that. He damn sure did say that.
Technically, he didn't say that. Technically, that he's quoting from the book. I know what he's talking about. Okay, so obviously, let me ask you, what is the question, or do you want me to just give my overall intake of that?
Give your overall intake on that, because he's, you know what I mean, he ain't hold no punches. He said the Ark of the Covenant, and he said the 10 Commandments told you don't kill. And then all of a sudden, it was a bunch of killing going on to people who didn't believe in certain things.
Well, okay, I don't mean to play the devil's advocate. Not tonight. Okay, but you gotta look.
Are you advocating? Hold on, are you advocating for Billy or are you advocating for the other side? It all depends. I don't know.
No, I'm not advocating for any side because the devil doesn't care about you people's war. But no, I'll be honest with you, right? The idea of the 10 Commandments was something that wasn't new at the time that Moses is purported to have been living and received these commandments from his God. It wasn't new. So when you talk about a group of people who don't really have a history, they don't have a set culture. the only way for them to, in a sense, legitimize themselves is to say, hey, we got some rules. We say it's coming from who we say it's coming from. And if you don't like it, you can get down or get put down. One of the two. I'm gonna be honest with you, back in them days, that was pretty much how life was. That it didn't start with them. Okay, let's be clear. They're not the progenitors of that sort of politics. But they did use it to their advantage, and it worked. So, I'm not saying that I wish for everyone to be, tyrants of religion. But I'm going to be honest with you. Look at what it got them. It worked. You know what I mean?
So you're saying that basically them using religion actually worked in their benefit.
Yeah. Because truth be told, again, that set of rules, right, was already instilled in the politics of the region already. In Egypt, you couldn't just, delete people. You couldn't just beat slaves. Matter of fact, you couldn't even have slaves for real. And there was a lot of stuff that went into servitude and a bunch of other stuff. And if you did something with somebody else's wife, that was punishable by death. Like, they took marriage seriously in them days. And this is prior to, Jews and Moses and all of that. So when they come with these little rules, they're trying to say, hey, look at us. We got something nobody else has. God told us what y'all already knew. Look at us. And the only way people are going to look at them is if they have to. Like, I'm not looking at them unless they're going to shoot me. If they came in this door right now and said, listen, the Jewish God is the God, and if you don't bow down right now, I'm like, bitch, if you don't got no gun, fuck you. That's how it's going to be.
Whoa.
So, I'm just saying, this is why I feel that was the only thing they could have done, and that's what they did. And honestly, based on the facts of the matter, it got them where they are right now, which is the ruling class. So I know, what's his name over here? I forgot, Billy Carson. I know he doesn't like that, and rightfully so. But listen, okay, nobody wants to be the underclass. They did what they had to do to get to the top. Let's not hate on the people, okay? Let's not hate.
Wow, but that's a form of social conditioning, right?
I'm trying to socially condition my job right now to let me stay at home 4 days a week. What are you talking about?
Wow. Wow. So wait. So you're saying manipulation is key. You know what I mean? It's key basically in society, right?
Everyone manipulates. Everyone manipulates.
Everyone manipulates?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, you have to explain that there. You just can't throw that out there without any type of evidence. No, that's like saying everyone lies, which I think that is true.
Everyone does lie. Like, I didn't wake up like this. You think I sleep in these earrings in my head like this at night? You really?
Is that a lie? That's not a lie. That's you just making sure your upkeep is well. How's that lying?
I could have just came on here the way I woke up. I could have.
Okay, but that doesn't mean you're lying. That means that you're actually.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. People, the word lie, it's like there's the truth is nothing more than just another side of something else. It's like there's no.
Wait, hold on. So you taking care of your own personal hygiene. Is you lying about your real appearance? That doesn't make any sense.
No, look at the definition.
You're only lying about your real appearance if you let's say you shaved your head, right? You
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, but look at the definition of the word. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I'm saying, like, all truths are but half truths, and I live by that. It's like if the word lie means to falsify something that isn't true. I don't smell like Dove. That's not how I actually smell. I don't naturally smell like Secret deodorant. Like, that's not how I naturally smell. But technically, I want to smell like Dove soap and, all of that. That's what I want to smell like. So, is that a lie? Technically, yes. But let's be honest. We don't, unless it's malicious, we don't care. right? I'm not being malicious by washing my underarms, right? Same way when I say manipulation is something everyone does. Everyone isn't trying to maliciously manipulate someone into something else, like that's detrimental to their health or something. Like, that's not it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a matter of understanding what your environment and manipulating it to your benefit. Like, that's it.
Okay, I understand what you mean. And really quick, let me give a shout out to salute to Kalia. Glad you checked in, family. Much love, much love, much love. Also, he said, "Speak for yourself, Lola."
Who
She
said
said,
it? Who said
and
it?
I hope you get monetized soon in knowledge and relationships. Oh, thank you. This is actually intellectual soapbox. Knowledge and relationships is already monetized, but thank you so much, family. Appreciate you. M3 says, "Speak for yourself, Lola." Okay.
You know what? This is never.
Yeah, because I don't. I understand what you're trying to say as far as you you know what I mean. You put on deodorant and all that, and you don't really actually smell like Dove. I get all that, right? I get the line that you're trying to correlate, right? But and that's not a lie. That is just you taking care of personal hygiene, right?
Well, you
And I
don't
think
consider
everybody.
that
I
lie
think
religious.
yeah, but okay, right? You can't stretch it and say, well, you know, you actually doing things to basically make sure, right, that you don't get sick or that you don't smell bad, right? Is actually a bad thing. You know what I
Listen,
mean?
you see them
It's
Indians?
not.
You see them Indians from India? Right.
Salute to Craig First. Salute.
Right.
What,
You
okay,
see those
what about the
Indians.
Indians?
You see the Indians from India, right? You see them,
That's not
right?
your family.
Okay. Those
Okay,
Indians
but
from India are they're not lying about what life is like as a human being. You know what I'm talking about. They're not lying, but I damn sure will be lying and manipulating because I don't believe in that. Okay. Let's be clear about something. All right. If we're not clear about anything else, let's be clear about that. I don't mind lying when it comes to that. But this is not a malicious lie. See what I'm saying? They're telling the truth about how
so you're telling me you pick and choose your lies based on the reaction that you get from people.
Yes, their lies are more like for instance, like with them, they like to smell natural, like natural musk and stuff like that. That's the truth. I smell like that too when I'm musty, but I'm gonna continue to lie.
I don't want to know all that.
But listen, my musk is a secret. I smell like secret. That's a lie. Secrets. So no, I'm okay. I'm okay with that lie. But all I'm saying is my point is, and I'm counting. It's about the maliciousness of it. And truth be told, in the context we're talking about right now with the Israelites and the whole, telling people, hey, thou shalt not kill. And if you don't think about this and adhere to it, we will kill you. First off, Billy Carson knows that, okay, that excerpt in the Bible is harshly misunderstood. Okay, it is, and it wasn't until the second, maybe I want to say maybe the 3rd century BC, where the Bible started really becoming real misconstrued. And I'm talking about before the New Testament, misconstrued. But at some point, we all know the original scriptures was not it. The Israelites were not telling people, hey, get with our religion or get killed. They wasn't even formidable to do that. They wasn't. There is no proof that Solomon even existed. We got more proof that Hannibal crossed that strait in the ice with elephants than we do Solomon existed. So let's be clear about something. He knows that what we've been taught about these people are to a degree a bunch of lies. I don't believe for a second that the Israelites went around killing everyone that didn't agree to their little petty religion. Like, seriously, I don't. I think that it was written that way to make it seem like, hey, we some big shit people. But I don't believe I don't believe that. I don't believe none of that because I don't see any proof of these people like being so huge in the world that they was taking over shit. Like, really, I don't see proof of that. But again, the point is, they're talking about
that. What do you mean? That's why you're here. That's why you are here.
What do you mean?
You're proof of that.
Well, I'm proof of what?
They colonized your people, and they brought you here.
No, the Jews did not colonize anybody. In fact, the reason why they are upset right now is because they believe that they were colonized by Rome and a bunch of other people. So my thing is, listen, these people, as far as I'm concerned, are a bunch of nomads that wrote a book that sounded really nice, but that shit did not really apply to nobody because it was
Wow.
okay, so they didn't colonize shit. And at the end of the day, it's wrong. Period. Like it's wrong. We all know that it's wrong. Egypt was one of the hugest colonizing cultures in the world, and they didn't need to go around killing everybody to get people on their page. So these little bit of people, come on, like, do we really believe that? Billy Carson should be ashamed of himself for even acting like that could possibly be true. I don't care if the Bible did say that they went around killing everybody. Do you see evidence?
Let me tagging my brother Billy Carson like that, man. Leave him alone. Let me go to my next video, y'all. Watch. It keeps attacking Billy Carson. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all gonna leave Billy? Billy gonna get it together.
You're gonna like this one here. All right?
Okay, go ahead.
This one nice right here. We all know what that look. We all know what that is on the screen, and if you don't know, you're gonna find out. All right, you're gonna find out right now. But me and her both know what that is on the screen. Let's get it, y'all. Fair use as always.
You have these different chapters, and Key of Time is a chapter that I'm referencing. So it says, he says, far through the strange spaces I have journeyed into the depth of the abyss of time, until in the end, all was revealed. So he went back, probably and forward in time, looking and learning along the way. Know ye that mystery is only a mystery when it is knowledge unknown to man. So it's only a mystery because you don't know about it, right? Anything that you don't know about is a mystery to you. We have to learn about it. It's a mystery to most people. How does a cell phone work? In the Emerald Tablets, you have these different chapters, and Key of Time is a chapter that I'm.
Okay.
Her alien detector is going off again.
That's not even bad.
As soon as that video played, I know that's what it is.
Yeah,
I know that's what it is. All right. As soon as I played the video, I said, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I was like, here they come. Here they come.
I'll say this, and I really enjoy reading the Emerald Tablets as many times as I've read them. Each time I learn something different. But I'll say this, I don't think that based on when the Emerald Tablets was written, that we can really wholeheartedly understand what's being said, because the language was very basic, right? And it's talking about something that's far beyond what we understand now. So there's a disconnect. And I'm not saying the tablets is disconnected. What I'm saying is the language that it's conveying something in. It's like me talking to you about the internet using animal references to explain the internet. Like, at some point, people can try to understand, but to another degree, it's going to be hard. And like he says, he went into the abyss of time. And the abyss of time, if you look at what the word abyss means, it means like the unknown darkness of time. He says he went into that and understood that it's really not a mystery. So what he's really saying is somehow he was able to travel time, and he realized something very simple that seems mysterious to most men, but it's not, because it's only a mystery to you because you don't know about it. But truth be told, it's very simple. That's what I get from that. But I'll be honest with you, Billy Carson really, I get it. He likes reading from the Emerald Tablets, but I want to say sometimes he over-religiousizes the Emerald Tablets. And the Emerald Tablets really wasn't meant to be read aloud, by the way. Disclaimer. Okay, Billy, if you're listening, the Emerald Tablets was for the priesthood only, because it wasn't meant for the little men that it talks about that wouldn't understand even if you told them, and it would only confuse them. Like, I'm just saying, I get it. We're talking about it here, but generally speaking, the average person talking about traveling the abyss of time, it's like, it's just going to confuse people, and they're going to be, it's just, okay. This is where we're at, okay? So I'll just say that. What say you?
He's just speaking on things that, like, I think that already is kind of already known, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's saying anything that's like far fetched or things that we can't really see that's like right in front of our face. Which is the brilliancy of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, you know what I mean. Salute to Marcus.
Hey, Marcus.
He said, "Hey, quick question. You gotta come up here and ask that, Marcus. Come up here and ask that, please. I got a whole bunch of videos and stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, come up and ask. Come up and ask, Marcus. We got a chance.
Well,
come up and ask.
Marcus, to your question, and I guess you can always double check, but the Emerald Tablets, to my understanding, was translated from an unknown language into Aramaic. So, and then we're getting the Aramaic to the Arabic, and the Arabic to the Old English, and now from the Old English to the modern English that we speak. So that's what's happening here. Yeah, and I mean, you can always double check that, but that's pretty much the layout of that.
Yeah, if you want to get more in depth, Marcus, like I said, come on up, brother, come on up. Because I got a whole bunch of videos I got to play. So, if anybody got questions, just come on up, and put the link back in the chat. Come on up, all right. If you can, if you're able to, right? Yes, sir. Okay. All right. You know what I mean? Now, okay. I don't think necessarily he's reading it from a standpoint where, you know, he's over religiousizing it. I think he's just pointing out specific facts that we kind of see like already, right? So if you already see this already happening, you know, within society, you just see a period, right? That's what he's speaking to. You know what I mean? So, and I think you know he's directly correlating, you know what I mean, as far as just, you know, his how Thoth was able to see things, you know, at a whole view. He was able to see the essence of creation, right, by going back and forward. You know what I mean? So he went back in time so that he can correlate what was going on, you know what I mean, in the future, and then he can be in the present and understand why everything is happening, right? So he gave him full understanding. You know what I mean? Also, the Bible talks about that. It says, you know in part, but then there'll come a time where you will know things fully. You know what I mean? That only comes once you have reached your apex, right? So he reached it. He reached the apex by going all the way to the future, seeing everything that happened, and then he came back in the present. But he also went in the past so that he could have an understanding of why everything was going on. So it definitely, I don't think it's really a religious type of thing. I think he's just speaking theoretically about what Thoth's experience it was, you know what I mean, and what he actually seen, you know what I mean, by his time travel, you know what I mean. He said, can someone explain how black people can interpret the words in the Bible but can't speak, read or understand English words? The only words are a blueprint how to live and treat people. Okay, like I said, any questions I got, just come up on the panel. Just come up on the panel. Because like I said, I got a whole bunch of videos. I'm trying to get through them.
Let me speak to that, Trey, first, to your question about explaining how black people can interpret the Bible. Let me say this, and I hope you can kind of juxtaposition this, right? 85%, okay? 85% of Arabic-speaking non-black people in the Middle East have never read the Quran, but they identify as Muslim. 85%. Let's stop talking about black people for a second, okay? Like, this isn't, I know Billy Carson is black, and I mean, and whatnot, but trust me, black people aren't the only people that are ignorant, okay? Or that interpret things wrong, or can interpret one thing but have an inability to interpret other things. Like, let me tell you something. Some of the conversations that we talk about on this channel are not for everybody. And it doesn't mean that they're less. It just means that the priesthood isn't the priesthood because it's for everybody. Like, everybody ain't cut for every conversation to be had. And you don't have to have these conversations to live a good life and to you see what I'm saying? You don't have to. But for some people, we're born with questions that need to be answered in the 3D. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just some of us are born to experiment and do this life based on this question that we've been kind of taxed with in our heart space. So I don't want it to make it seem like, well, Black people are the only people that are reading the Bible and can't interpret. Because Black people are reading more books than the Bible and not interpreting, or is interpreting. But I don't want to make this about Christianity versus any other religion, because you can find ignorance everywhere. But this is when I say Billy Carson, in a sense, over religiousizes some of this stuff. What I mean is, he's creating a cult following in and of itself from his perspective, and I feel like he can maybe do a better job at making, as they say, putting the jar of cookies where everybody can reach it. Because some people will basically create a new religion out of his words. And he knows this, obviously, because that's how he bought that Ferrari. So this is clearly, me and Billy don't get along. But this is my gripe right now. And I know Mr. Best says, he doesn't really think Billy Carson means to do that. And he might not, but I think there's room for conversation there. And so, okay, sir, here, with the question about the language barrier. What's going on?
There you go. Adjust yourself. There you go. Adjust yourself. Sit down, right.
I ain't messing with you. Alright. Go ahead. You had a question?
Yeah, no, I had a couple like non-religious related questions too. Like you said, I'm not trying to derail you guys' conversation. Hopefully, I just want to be asked real quick too. What's the main topic, and what have you guys been coming down for the last 34 minutes?
We've been watching the videos and kind of just giving our commentary on it. There's been 2 videos, both from Billy Carson, and we just kind of been commenting on it from a general standpoint. We really haven't been digging too deep into it, but if you didn't see the videos, you might not understand.
Can you give me a quick breakdown? Because I've heard the name Billy Carson, but what does he mainly talk about?
Billy Carson, pretty much, he's been studied in Egyptology and a few other studies in religion, but he draws on the Emerald Tablets a lot. And let's say the translation of the Emerald Tablets. And I'm not saying that he doesn't know his stuff when it comes to the Emerald Tablets, but based on my experience and Mr. Best's experience, the Emerald Tablets isn't something that you study like you go to school. It's something that every time you read it, it has a new meaning in your personal life, and it unlocks doors as you read it over and over again. And it says that the individual reading this has to read over and over and over and over, and each time you're going to get something different out of this reading, and that's how it's supposed to be. So it's like a hidden meaning all over the place, but that's the purpose of it. And with him, he's explaining what he feels in terms of the meaning. Like in the last video, it talks about those traveling into the abyss of time and essentially coming out on the other side and realizing that it's essentially not what people think it is. Now, I have my thoughts about that in terms of what reality is versus how we see time within our reality. But again, he's explaining the words of quote unquote Thoth in the Emerald Tablets. And I feel that those words are too enigmatic for us to explain exactly what they mean. I think we can explain the concept of time travel and what that may mean to us and the lessons, but to interpret exactly what that script means, I think that's kind of dangerous. But that's just my personal opinion. Excuse me if I'm sniffling.
You're fine. You can sniffle away. No, just thank you for breaking it down.
You're good, Lola. You're good. We know you're not feeling well. It's cool. But let me get to my next video, y'all. Let me get to my next video. All right. Fair use is always fair use. Fair use.
Woke dead 444. Okay. 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 Woke
Vision
dead.
Pros ruined society, and here's how. If you thought having a smartphone was addicting, the Vision Pros has only been out for 1 week and society's already changing. And even though these are new entertaining features, we gotta talk about the long-term effects it can have on you in the future. First off, the movie Ready Player One, and of course The Simpsons, already exposed that this was gonna happen years before it did. And even though most people still have a phone right now, pretty soon it's gonna get replaced, and people wearing this in public is going to be normal. Now, the problem is your brain will constantly be stimulated by blue light and LEDs, which has never really been done before. And even though your phone is similar, at least you can just look up or turn it off when you're not using it. But this shit is literally stuck to your face.
The amount of stimulation in my brain right now is insane.
The Apple Vision Pros can also scan your face, expressions, and characteristics, then creates a fake digital version of you that becomes your avatar. And don't get me wrong, this is cool, but if your entire identity is being scanned and stored, then who else at Apple has access to your digital self? And two, if hackers find a way to get into these Vision Pros, they're going to have access to your whole face and expressions. Overall, this is a new digital world that's going to take us further away from reality. But let me know in the comment section, would you get the Vision Pros? Leave a like if you agree with anything in this video, and be sure to hit follow so you don't miss any more updates.
Okay.
Heck no, I'm not messing with that. Okay? And I'm gonna tell you why. All right, and this is a true story, family. This is what actually really happened to me. This happened around 5 years ago, maybe about 5 years ago. So this is when those first things came out, like the Oculus and all that, when they first came out, right? And they was like, oh, you can get one free with your new phone. I was like, all right, cool. Let me see what it look like. I put that thing on, and I literally started freaking out in the store. Like I literally started to freak out. I started to lose my sense of reality, and I had to literally take it off because I started to actually think that what I was wearing and seeing was actually real. Like I actually was losing like my grip on reality. Like it was happening to me right in that store. I'll never forget that. And I was like, yo, what the? I just started freaking out. I'm like, yo, what the hell? So I'm like, yo, I just took it off my head. Right? And I was like, nah, I don't want this. I don't want this. I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, you can, it's kind of like you can go into Inception without even really believing that you can actually go into it. Yes, and yes, I'm using an Inception reference because that is a great movie. You know what I mean? And yes, if y'all want me to share your pages or whatever, man, just come up on the channel and put a comment. I'll make you a moderator. You guys can put your links to your pages and your social medias and your Instagrams inside the chat. People can follow you. With that being said, right? Yeah, so that actually happened to me in real life. Like I actually lost a sense of reality. You know what I mean? Salute to Roy B. Privilege. What's going on, family? Salute, salute, salute. You know what I mean? So yeah, that really happened to me. Like I had the Oculus on my face. You know what I mean? It was in a T-Mobile store. I threw that joint in my face and I was flipping. I was tripping out. You know what I mean? My woman was there. She was looking at me like, yo, you all right? I was like, nah, I'm not. I'm good. I think my brother was there too. Like, I'm good. I don't want this. You know what I mean? We left the store. So yeah, go ahead, y'all.
Well, I'll be honest with you, right? I think we
I got you, Robbie. I got you.
I think it's unfortunate, but it's a reality that we have to contend with because it comes down to control of government. And by control of government, I mean the role of government is not to assess our inner need for being humans. That's not the role of government, okay? The role of government is very clear. However, if we say, well, listen, society is starting to change in a negative way because of this, and it's affecting the government's bottom line. Now the government has to come in and say, okay, what role do we play in culture? And saying, okay, when there's certain technology, we do not allow the public access because we're trying to save the public from becoming too oversensitive or overstimulated. Then people are going to say, well, it's not the government's role to tell me when I'm overstimulated, right? Even though the government has had 30,000 years of experiments to know you're being overstimulated, right? But this is the part that we come into. Like you said, well, this is not good for us because it's too much. And we're not evolved enough as naturally to deal with this. We're not. And that's why I think it's having such a bad effect on us, because we're not evolved enough to deal with so much stimulation. Technology has jumped a lot, but we have not jumped a lot as human beings. The way we are today is essentially the way we were 200,000 years ago. But technology wasn't the same way it was 200,000 years ago. So, this is a problem. But are we going to sit and keep saying that, well, the government shouldn't regulate things like stimulation, overstimulation, sort of like how China regulates their internet? They regulate they regulate the technology that the public has access to because, one, they don't want to overstimulate. Yeah.
Don't they regulate their social medias too, right?
Right. They regulate what they see on. They regulate, let's say, the parameters of what they can see. They don't regulate every single thing. But the parameters of what they see, they do that on purpose because they have studies to show that when the government just allows people to do whatever it wants to do, this equals a problem for the community itself. Because let's suppose you have a bunch of men who can't serve in the armed forces, right? That's a problem for security. Nobody wants to feel like they're in America and they're not feeling safe around these borders. But everybody wants freedom, right? It's like freedom costs. It does. And I'm not going to say that the government hasn't had its, long-standing problem with overstepping. However, we are asking them to overstep when we say, hey, this technology being put in front of everybody's face, including kids, is destroying our relationships, is destroying our communities. Sure. But are you willing to allow the government to make that assessment that as a community, you only are allowed X amount of exposure versus any exposure you want? You have to pick a struggle here. And I'll be honest with you, I don't even think the government can really make a good choice on this, because the question now becomes, what's...
Hold on a second, Lola. Hold on. For the person in the back, you got to put a thumbs up before I let you on the panel. You got to verify yourself.
Any reason why your face can't be shown?
Yeah, show your face. Yep.
Okay.
Hmm?
Okay, that is taking you a bit of a while to show your face. If you don't want to show your face, Mr. James, you don't have to, but on this panel, you're going to have to do that unless we know you personally. So, yeah, no. And if you have your camera on, I don't know why this is an issue. So, it's okay if you don't want to show your face. But we don't do that. Thank you anyway. So, like I said, I think the government has an uphill battle in terms of trying to figure out what's appropriate in terms of stimulation for a population. For instance, the corn industry, okay? Corn hub. A lot of people are noticing that it's affecting relationships, and relationships are drastically being affected to the point children are not being born, marriages are not happening, taxes are not being paid. You got companies tanking as a result of all of that. So you see how it trickles down, and the government is saying, well, how can we help? Well, the only way the government can help is by doing what China is doing. But America is not used to communism. So we have a problem here. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think it's. I think it's a combination of issues going on, and as individuals, we have to be strong enough to say, "Hey, I allow myself to be on social media, but I don't allow that to overtake my relationships." Meaning, like when I'm on a date, right, or doing anything with friends. Yeah, see, you can't watch that in Arkansas. Like, I'm just saying, like, there's people that understand how detrimental this is. When I'm on a date, one thing I don't do is check social media, check my emails, is scroll through my phone. My phone might be there because obviously I'll pick it up, but I have it turned up, off, or down, or in my pocketbook. I do not entertain my phone when I'm on a date, or if I'm entertaining any type of company, like if family come over or something. I purposely put the phone down. When my son is engaging in conversation, like, I know the kids want to play their games, but I ensure that when he speaks to people, he understands respect is pausing your phone or your game and speaking and looking someone in the eye, not talking, looking like this. I have to do that as a mom because it helps him cognitively as an adult to know respecting someone is looking them in the face when you're speaking, not being preoccupied on your phone. When you're at the dinner table, it's okay to watch a movie with someone, but being on your phone while eating, this is disrespectful. So, it's a cultural thing too. So I think the government has a responsibility to help with this. But honestly, the government can't do everything. We also have a responsibility as well.
It's on you, Marcus.
Yeah, no, I'm just I think it's interesting because we're talking about like the whole tech stuff and Mr. Betts bringing up Oculus because going down the rabbit hole like years, this is probably about like 5-6 years ago, but people were saying like they were when they put on the Oculus, to them they felt like they were seeing that they could watch or see demons or something that could manifest in a very dark, evil way. So, and then once they took it off, they couldn't unsee certain things. So, there's just something like they say about when you put on an Oculus, you're kind of tapping into more in depth of another like quote unquote realm, as they say. So, it's a lot of crazy stuff, and then you're seeing a lot of this advancement in AI and stuff like that. That the machines themselves, the androids and stuff, they're giving that sentient like emotion. So that's the crazy thing about it too. You're seeing them kind of reacting to anger or sadness, or which is, be mindful of stuff like that. But people want to have these in their homes and their offices and stuff like that. So, future's crazy.
Man, salute to what you watch on YouTube. Salute, salute, salute. Good to see you up in here, family. Much love, much love. You know what I mean? Yeah, they have their own version. Yep, it's called Vision. That's what we were just talking about on the Vision Pro. But we have something else in the kitchen that I'm cooking. Let me bring it on up. All right, I got something else for y'all. Let me see. That was that. Lola, you good? Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay. I had to blow my nose.
Okay. Well, y'all, let me fair use as always. All right.
This is a video game, like Phase 1 said, right? Then you'll figure out, then everything has a code. Just like Phase said, everything has a code. That code is a formula. Now you can look up the formula for melanin. Once you figure out, and that's what they figured out, that's how they was able to create the matrix and start creating all these artificial flavors and artificial colors and all this. Because they figured out that, hey, this is a matrix. Everything has a formula. Everything has a code. That code is called a formula, right? All right, so melanin. They got the formula for melanin. Now, you can say that they was to put it together in the laboratory, it'll be synthetic, right? Because it's not naturally formed. But if they got the right code, what's the difference between the synthetic melanin that got the right code versus melanin that's naturally made by the body that got the right code? Because the main base right here, we got carbon 18. So the main base of melanin is carbon, which is why Dr. Sadie used to always say it wasn't called melanin, it was called carbon, right? Because he knew at the base, he was a scientist, and he understood the base that the melanin is not just a name, and that it's really a formula for that melanin, which is carbon 18. 10, nitrogen 2, oxygen 4. Every single, I know for a fact that every single vegetable and fruit on this side of the mirror is based with carbon. So carbon is really a number one element for us as human beings. Carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Like I say, from now on, man, start studying formulas. Study the back of what the shit you put in your body. Break it down, see what's going on here, man. We got to be scientists ourselves, and we way more powerful scientists than them. We think we way more powerful thinkers than them, and so they really still trying to figure out a lot of shit that we put together, like the pyramid, a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? They trying to still figure out how them ships move like they move. It's ancient technology, it's science. Then once you get into these formulas, then I'm telling you, man, this is the real language that everybody can learn real fast. The language of formulas.
Okay. Let me be honest with you.
Formulas.
Let me be honest with you. I maybe it's my age, but I'm not a fan of these woke people. I'm really not a fan.
What?
No.
the way that you talk and express yourself.
No. See, my biggest thing is leave people where they at. Don't be trying to convert everybody to what the fuck you thinking. No, like okay, I had to research my whole life to get here. You do too. I ain't doing your homework for you. That's how I feel.
But you challenge my thoughts all the time. What are you talking about?
Challenging thoughts is not the same, okay? But I will say this. Okay. So what he's talking about, because I had to like kind of zone in a little bit or whatever. He's talking about scientists that have understood the code of carbon, right? And all of that. And he's talking about we can be better scientists than them. Who is we? Let's start there. Who is we? Who are you talking about?
I'm melanated people. You know you're talking about us. Come on now. Why are we
No. Because he said.
Why would you understand you talking about black people? Somebody said talking about black people. You said it was me. Come on, man. You know what you're talking about, man. Come on, man.
No. And the reason why I'm gonna say who is we is because first off, if carbon is a code, okay, every race of people have their own code. And no code is above another code. So when you say they got the code to melanin, white people have melanin. They just got a different type of melanin. And a melanin that they need that we don't. It's not a better code. It's not a lesser code. It's just a different code. Melanin is melanin, as he said. So when he says I need to know
they definitely want our melanin and our organs too.
No. Okay, now who is we? Who is we?
They want our melanin and our organs and all that so they can live longer.
Okay. Who? Okay. Let me tell you.
That.
Let me ask you.
They kidnap black folk and all that. You know what I mean? To harvest our organs. You know what I mean? They've been doing experiments on us, even back in the days for Henrietta Lacks and all that. Like, we know this is a real thing. Like, let's not act like we don't know.
Okay. So he's talking about the top 1% of white people, correct?
Yeah, them folks. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the elites.
So he's saying that we're better than them. Is that the contention? We're better than them?
You even said that we're different from them, Lola. You said that
not
before.
Different. Not different. He's saying that we're better. That's what he's saying. Is we're better. Right?
Okay, what do you believe? Do you believe we're better or not? I'm just gonna say that.
No. Because if you were better,
forget his opinion. Forget his opinion.
Well, if you were better, you would be in a better situation. So don't tell me that. No, you're not. You are not better or smarter than those people. I don't care if you don't like them. You're not better or smarter than them. No, you're not. If you were, you wouldn't be sitting here complaining. You would be making moves. That's what that would be.
Damn.
She's that transformer that sometimes she's an Autobot, sometimes she's a Decepticon, and it just doesn't matter how she. It doesn't matter.
Oh, she switches. She switches. She switches. Oh.
I'm not switching.
Salute to Trey Ferg. Good to see you in the building. Salute.
Hello.
I call that a hybrid.
How y'all doing today? Happy Saturday.
Doing good, family. Doing good.
Hey man.
Shout out Trey. What up, Trey?
How y'all doing? What's up, man? How you doing, Miss? How you pronounce your name, Miss Oshun?
Oshun, yeah.
Oshun, yes. We in the light skinned, slightly melanated company. You in the light, bright skinned, melanated company. So I don't know. I have to hear you a little bit more to see if I can agree or disagree. You know, I think, and this is my concept. You know, my grandfather was a pastor for 30 years. He pastored 3 churches at the same time in his probably mid 50s, and he traveled. So it was. But the flip side of that, him and my father didn't have a relationship. He grew up. My grandfather, my father grew up with his father, but my grandfather, of course, was one of those street guys. Just from what I heard, he gambled. That was it. But then when he converted, my father was a teenager. He didn't give my father the love that he needed. Apparently, against him, my father tripped off it. But my father was all I knew. Everything he gave, everything I got from him. Hard working, respect people, respect your elders, respect the things that you do, respect what's not yours. So I've always lived in that. But he also used to curse his own father, so, but as far as this religion and biblical thing, I think we confuse sometimes because we don't live in who we actually are because he was our cousin. I've seen some of these brothers with this description of him. We the nicest people to some people, and sometimes we go hard against stuff that we really not sure of. But if we just live in who we are, I think we'll come out better as individuals because even the 10 Commandments just follow 75% of that. You can't cheat, you can't commit a murder, a crime, you can't, bear false witness. You can't do none of that stuff, especially as you get older. You get after 21, you sort of got to live righteous and everything to change because I heard you say that we're not better. I think just based on living in America, we're conditioned to not love ourselves first, and we look for outside of ourselves. Even we look to another race to validate us. When the men struggle with validating themselves, and the women struggle with validating themselves, but the women gravitate more to that type of culture. Most brothers, we just learn how to understand and love ourselves in where we are. But our sisters, it amazes me. And I love sisters. I have 5 of them. My wife is beautiful, caramel, with the nappy locks down to her back. And I think if women just embrace that more, we will move further. Because see, you can either get you a light-skinned dude or a dark-skinned dude. He can have that good hair like you like. But if he loves you, respect him. If you make more money, respect him. Feed him so he can go out and protect you. And we can thrive because right now, we're struggling. And do I pander to the women? If I want to make money, should I pander to the women and say, you so beautiful, girl, with all your extra things that you don't need to be beautiful, and you don't live in that truth? Because I heard melanated skin, yes. It's a specific DNA that makes us sort of resistant. We resist. And what I mean by that, we take on a lot, but we still are able to push through. We still are able to be great, even in our struggles. A lot of us just need to, older women work together with an older guy, and we got to teach our young, because the world is changing in America. Are you from America?
Oh, are you talking to me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh yeah, I'm from America. I'm American as it gets. Let me ask you something, Trey. How old are you, if you don't mind?
55. Oh, I just turned. Wait a minute. Let me correct that. I just turned 56 on the 8th. So shout out to all the Aquarius. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, brother.
Okay, I can kind of tell that your mentality comes from a certain era, right? And I think that era is commendable in terms of what their overall imperative is. However, in respect to what the gentleman said in the video that we just watched, he is from a different era, and their imperative is very much on a whole nother planet. Okay. His issue right now is we need to take control of science, and we need to control carbon and everything about it, and we need to contend with all these Fortune 500 companies that got patents on all this DNA and shit. And my thing to him is this: that's all well and good. It's nice to know that you want to do that, but here's the problem. It takes money to do that, and our community don't have a whole lot of it in terms of, influence. We don't. So what's the next step? I don't believe that I don't believe young people. Give me a favor, Trey. Mute your mic for me, hon. I don't believe that young people in their position can really talk about who is better and who is not based on who's running the world. Who's running the world right now in terms of those elite families, not people, but families? They have been running the world since before we understood what America was. This did not just start overnight. So you're not going to take down a system like that overnight or over the next 100 years. Now, if you want to, my question is, why should you? Because truth be told, these people are trying to create a monopoly on things like carbon. But how is that hurting us? How is it hurting us? Let's be clear about it. What's happening?
I don't know. So you said a lot, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that. I think I'm just going to try to break it down from the beginning. When it comes to the money part of it, right now we have a spending problem. So that eliminates us from able to save our money. A lot of us don't have savings. We like to buy into the vanity of what America really is not. We like to look good on it, but I think it's a great time for all of us, whether individual, you, Mr. Soapbox, and everyone else, not just focus on trying to do it for the group, focus on doing it for yourself over a period of the next 3 to 5 years. So you can go into the millennium, whether you're gonna be by yourself or have a mate. Now, as far as trying to we can take over, but we don't take advantage of the information that's already here. We are science, and this is where it can change as far as educating young Black folk. The inner city schools, without the collective bargaining, they can't say we are the math and science. If you notice in American public school, they push reading and comprehension when we've been comprehending since we've been here in America. Even before that, even if you go back before in history, which they really don't let now, as far as going forward to the future. If our children can learn math and science and those futuristic things that we're using, the cell phone, the TV, the tablet and all that, the AI, then I think we can put our future in a position to move forward. But right now, I don't see it happening because our strongest group, that 21 to 45, y'all don't like to get along with each other. Y'all spend all your money out. Y'all rather party instead of just saying, okay, if I got children, it's not, and I look at it like it's nothing wrong if you got children. Just teach the baby how to read and write and multiply and divide and, take care of self and, like you said, hygiene, and that's important. Taking baths and women cook, men put up a fence. All of that plays into the psyche of, self-growth.
Well,
it does.
Trey, not to interrupt you, but to your point about having children, right? Because we are talking about the science of carbon. What people had children for in 1810, the reason people had children in 1810 is not the same reason people had children in 2024. People procreate now out of pleasure because they just want a boy, a girl, or 2 boys, or twins, or whatever. It's really out of pleasure. It's not because they need workers on their farm. That's not it. Actually, children today are more of a liability than anything else.
Man, hold on. As far as man, we don't think nothing like that. Everything that you're speaking from a woman's point of view.
No,
Men do not listen. If a man has sex with a woman and that woman's pregnant,
we're not
the
talking
last thing. No, I'm just saying the last thing most men think about is whether it's a girl or a boy.
No, I'm not. Listen, men think about that, but we're not talking about sex. What we're talking about, Mr. Trey, is the imperative. What is the reason why your great grandfather had 20 children, but you are not trying to have 20 children? What is the reason why y'all don't want the same things anymore? What's the reason?
Oh, I couldn't tell you why. But if I could have 20 children, if I could go back.
I didn't say if. I didn't say if. Don't change
I couldn't tell you why he didn't have 20 children.
No, I'm saying he did. I'm saying that your great grandfather could have 20 children and he did. Okay. Why don't you want 20 children too?
Because I understand that children at a certain point become a liability based on the resources that's available for everyone else in the family. If I have 3 children and I can support 3 children and a wife and 2 dogs and a cat and 2 cars and a 3-car garage, and if that's within my resources, I'm going to make sure I'm living within that. Me and my wife, everything we do should be planned as far as it comes to that house. Now she can plan how she want to go get her hair done, go get an outfit. I have nothing to do with that. But everything else outside of that has to be planned. And as far as the children,
this is the difference between your generation and the generation of the young man that was just speaking. You're essentially saying that it's about resources. And it's true. It is about resources.
Within your means, though.
Okay, it is about resources, right? Your great-grandfather didn't have a life expectancy of 85, right? So resources was a big issue back then. And the best resource was children to take care of your land, help out with the younger kids, work, make money, all of that. Children were the actual resource. Today, are not the resource. That's not what that is. So we have a generation of people who, rightfully so, are not thinking from that mind frame. And you can't blame them because life is different. We have to deal with what we're dealing with right now. Right now, when people procreate, they're not procreating because they need workers. That's not why people are procreating. Most people are procreating on an oops basis, okay? Not because of that. And this is why institutions like marriage and having a regular 9-to-5 job are dying, because life is changing. So with life changing, people are saying that Fortune 500 companies are actually in control of us more than what we give them credit for, because they have a monopoly on the things that are most precious to our being, which is our quote unquote carbon. Now, my question is this: how is these Fortune 500 companies harming you with this code that they have on you, monopolizing whatever they got on you? Like, how is that hurting you? Because I'll be honest with you, if something should happen on this planet where we couldn't grow crops for 4 years, I'm hoping somebody got the code to grow them shits in the laboratory so I can stay alive. And I'm telling you right now, I don't got the code, and I'm not about to dedicate my life to coding just so I can live and eat vegetables. That's not it. I'm hoping somebody got it. But at the end of the day, when we make these assertions about black people are under attack and we need to code the carbon and all this, it's like, listen, calm the fuck down. Okay, really, just let's talk about what we need to do immediately and over the long term. And by long term, I mean the next couple 100 years, not the next couple of decades.
I'll say this, and I'll say, as far as you say the code, say this: us brothers, we have the code. Us brothers have the code. Now, here's the trick, bag. Listen. We as a man, especially coming into the modern era, I was part of the generation where we had a taste of everything, from no video to everything being video. Now, but we put in work since we were 20, 18, 19. Now in the 50s, a lot of people, you see it, been at the job, about ready to retire, them put in that time. We've had I would say you're close to 40 years old. You my favorite generation. Am I guessing you close to 40?
I'm over 40.
Okay, in the mid-40s, okay, which is nothing. But we have the code just based on just taking the opportunity now, being a young man, 2021. America, the world is larger. Now, they have a control in a sense that most Americans over the last 60 years, 50 years, have relied on America. We relied on America. Now we have less resources that we even buying homes is difficult for Black people, which is always difficult, but somehow mom and them did it because they put mama's resources, who was very like even women that come out of slavery, most of them worked in the kitchen, most of them did the housework. So those generations were able to get that. Coming to a modern era, all the resources for most women move outside the house. If you live by yourself, you pay 100%. Men pay 100% if they live by themselves. Once they come together, it's an opportunity to put the resources together. We don't do that because if you look at how we actually look at our resources to save, a young man, he has to get some skill sets. He has to create something, whether it's from his own mind or he has to get it while he's in some type of school, because that's just part of man. Even a manhood training, it's the same thing. If he does that at an early age, he can move forward in occupying the world in the future. Now, the sisters are the ones that are going to struggle because, like you said, you wish you had a man that had the code, right?
No, wait. That's not the type of show this is. I don't. This ain't a relationship. No. I wish I had a guy with the code. The man. No.
As far as having somebody with the code to grow some food, right?
No, I think you misunderstand what the guy in the video is talking about. He's not talking about relationships and the Black community. He's talking about resource gathering from a structural standpoint when it comes to coding for things that you can have a patent on in the U.S. Patent Office in Washington, D.C. I
think as far as that code, brothers just need to take advantage of what the United States is giving them right now. You can have 4 or 5 options: go to college, join the military, get a trade, and that's plumbing, electricity, building houses, or you can join the military. You have 4 or 5 avenues. Even women, y'all go to college, regardless of the field you choose. A lot of y'all go to college, so y'all taking advantage of the resources. Brothers, even if they work a job, we still have to get to a place where you can save your resources. We spend a lot of money on stuff we really don't need, especially by your mid-30s, 40s. You should have everything. If not, you just got to spread it out. Now, as far as going into the future to pool our money together, it's going to take the top.
We're not talking about pulling our money together, because I think the perception about Black people and men in general and pulling money together, it's like we're past the point of being in small communities and needing to pull our money together. And that's where I think we're having the biggest problem, because we're saying let's pull our money together, but there's nothing that we need to pull our money together to buy. Like, I don't need Black people to own downtown Baltimore for me to live and be happy. I really don't. I don't need Black people to have three coastal line states for me to feel like I'm free in my country. I really don't. There's certain points in this country where we shouldn't have freedoms and shit. Like, I don't mind not controlling the system as a Black person or having Black people controlling shit. At the end of the day, my point to that the young man in the video is stop thinking that just because you're Black that you're better, because truth be told, if suddenly there was no more white people controlling shit and it was all up to you and whoever you got set up to maintain shit, we would all be fucking dead in 50 years. Okay, so let's stop talking about we got to get the white people and get the code back from them, and then we can rule over them. And it's like, yo, what are you talking about? Stop it.
Okay, y'all, we're going to move on to our next video. I got another video coming up.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
They don't want me talking about white people too much. I can't talk about white people. Don't get me wrong. Like, my great grandfather's white, so it doesn't matter. but it is what it is.
Oh boy, don't start that again. Fair use is always all right. Fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use.
We have 3 sons on the planet. Oh, okay, here we go.
Do you know why we love Dragon Ball Z so much? It's because they're literally telling us our story. I want you to listen to Dende tell Krillin about how there used to be 3 suns on the planet. Take a listen.
You know, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. It feels like it's been days since we landed on your planet. But it's still so bright. I mean, doesn't your sun set?
Not all at once. We have 3 different suns, so there's always at least one out in the sky.
Listen.
So you're saying on your planet you never have night?
No, we don't.
No wonder you're green.
So he just told Krillin that the planet has 3 different suns, and then Krillin says, no wonder why you are green. You see that, my people? Because we used to be green. Here's Ptah over here with the X on his chest, right? Because it's DNA, and it's showing that he is green. Now you might say, oh, Planet Namek and Planet Earth is 2 different things, or so you think. Okay, here is Planet Namek. You would say it's beautiful, it's lush, it's green, it's full of life, right? It's thriving, right? So now imagine that at one time this was Earth, full of life, thriving, the golden age, everybody vibrating high and the highest frequency, everybody's working in their own creator aspect. Right, we're not working for a system. Wouldn't you imagine this would be the planet? Everything comes back to green, because at one point in time everything was green on the planet, right? The Sahara as we know it today versus the green Sahara was, right? Here's the green part of the planet, right? And here's the dead part of the planet, right? But now do you see what's happening to the planet, right? The desert, the Sahara desert is filling up. This is what a few year difference does to the Sahara, right? And then by 2053, they're predicting it to look like this over here. Green, right? Kind of look like Planet Namek. Now, why is that important? Because we are in what you call the dead world, the underworld. We are in what you call hell in a sense, right? This is why we don't know who we are. We've forgotten our identity. The dead world. This is why we go to work to earn a living, right? They give you a straw man because you are legally dead to them in a sense. You are given a birth certificate, which is a slave number. First of all, what do you need a birth certificate for? I'm alive. What proof do you need that I'm alive unless you're putting me in a dead system as a living entity, right? So again, the reason why that's important, so we are in the dead world, we are in the underworld, kind of like Jupiter, right? So why does Jupiter look like a dead version of Namek? Look at that. Y'all see that? Why does Jupiter look like a dead version of Namek? Look at Namek all green and lush, and look at Jupiter, right? Look at that. A barren wasteland looks dead. If you don't know who Jupiter is the ancient chief Roman and Italian god. Like Zeus, the Greek.
Okay. Good
God
please.
with whom he is etymologically identical. So he is literally Zeus. He is called Lucidius, the light bringer, like Lucifer. Okay. So Jupiter is also Kronos. Kronos is ruler of the Titans. Titans are the planets. These are the celestial beings, the suns, the planets, the moons, the stars. And we would be children of these Titans. This is why they rule over us. Planets affect us, right? Astrology, astronomy, they affect us. and they affect us because they are our parents. That's why we pay rent to, to this matrix, pay rent, pay homage to them, right? That's why we, not worship the sun, but we recognize the sun. And they hide these planets for you because they don't want you to know that they affect you mentally, spiritually, physically, all this. Kronos was the leader and youngest of the first generation of Titans, the divine descendants of the primordial Gaia and Uranus. He overthrew his father and ruled during the mythological gold.
Mr. Vest, that's a lot of information. Hold on. That's a lot. Hold on.
Go ahead and build, girl.
Okay. So this Negro is giving me a headache.
Oh, gosh.
This Negro is giving me a headache. And he's giving me a headache because he's calling himself teaching people, right? And he's all over the place. Sentence to sentence, all over the place. And you can't really tie him down to anything because he's just all over the place. And this is why everybody isn't supposed to be on the pulpit teaching, okay? Like, just because you can turn a camera on, don't mean you supposed to be teaching people shit, okay? Now, it's so much that he said that I'm like, okay, what are we talking about here? Okay, first of all, when it comes to birth certificates, all right, the reason why he don't understand birth certificates is because he doesn't work in an industry where birth certificates make a difference. The reason why, you see, since September 11th happened, was because people faked the birth certificate. And then they got licenses that they wasn't supposed to have, and then people's family members turned up dead. So I rebuke any Negro that sits here and wants to talk about how, well, these birth certificates, I shouldn't have to prove that I'm alive. Bet you ain't approving shit. Okay, if you a citizen, we need proof of that. Okay? And if you don't like the proof system, get the fuck out. Go to Dragon Ball Z land, wherever the fuck you think you from or going, and be over there with your non-certificate having ass. Seriously. But stop the dumb shit at this point. Okay? I'm just as much a conspiracy theorist as anybody else. But that right there is just done. Okay? Just really done. Now, going back to what he was talking about the three suns and stuff like that, and how, look at how green things is and the green people, and he associated the deity, the Neteru of Oshun, right? Now, here's the problem with that. You correlate in a culture, Egyptian culture, in a time when we have no information for, to a cartoon made by people in a culture that is not from said culture. And so you're just going to put those two things together in a sentence and sound real sensational. And then you're not going to try and merge it together so we can understand what the fuck you're talking about. You're not just going to keep saying the green man, the green planet, green. Everything's... It's like, what are you doing? Who you think you're talking to, dude? Like, you think everybody around here with a high school education? Are you serious? But let me edify his conversation and say, all right, you want to talk about planet Earth and three suns and shit like that. Explain the orbital motion of a green planet with three suns. Explain that. Because I can explain why planet Earth is somewhat green based on its orbital structure. I can explain why. I can explain that in a time when we weren't in this orbital structure we were in, this planet did not look the way that it looked. It looked like other planets, i.e. Mars used to be what we are, okay? And it shifts. So I can explain that based on where we are relative to our sun. Now, explain to me how a planet can look like ours, if not more lush, in between three suns at the distance we are to our sun. Explain that to me. Stop trying to be a sensational spiritualist and be an actual scientist. And stop being a fucking Negro. Literally, stop it. Because right now, all I see is somebody that has a mic and a telephone on their screen and they just want to get clicks. I don't see anything. I don't see anybody intelligent on that screen talking like that. You have whole systems dedicated to just that sentence. Whole systems of schooling, and you think you're just gonna come and just say some old off the wall shit and don't have to explain a motherfucking thing? Are you kidding me? This is the problem with black people right here. You think that you can just come and say something and you don't have to build a system to substantiate what you're doing and talking about, yes, you know you don't know shit, and you need to be quiet and let these white people do what they do best. Okay, seriously, like you need to sit down, seriously. And I'm not taking up with white people and what the fuck they done did that was wrong, but at some point y'all gonna have to stop talking about white people and just start talking about some real shit. At the end of the day, you don't live in Dragon Ball Z. Okay, green people are not from here. All right.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know where these people get off at with this, but one minute they want to claim that the makers of these animations, these white people, are against them, right? Then the next minute they want to show you, oh, these white people are trying to tell us something we need to know. Like, which one is it, Negro? Like, sit down. Sit down. Really, sit down. And here's the thing. If you took 3 sons, what does that have to do with anything? If something should come down out that sky right now that's threatening you, that cartoon is not going to help you in no way, shape, form, or fashion. That color of the ancient Netaru is not going to help you in no way, shape, form, or fashion. And if you do not practice the ancient spiritual system of ancient Kemet, don't sit here and mention something that has been highly guarded for thousands of years away from people like you who would corrupt the information. Don't do that. But go ahead.
Sister, I'm 100% with you. 3 sons on this melanated body. The sun don't never go down. And that looked like a freshly painted background too. It looked freshly painted. I ain't see no fades, no pig, I don't know. Yes, Dragon Ball Z, come on now. See, it's a governmental TV control over the mind over that. Hey, yeah, it's ridiculous. Something like that, yeah.
The government is not controlling these Negroes at all. And this is why, like I said, I like to talk about conspiracy theory, right? I do. And I've even did a paper on the idea of 3 suns rotating in terms of the Sirius star system. The Sirius star system contains planets within it, right? But I've done a paper on the likelihood of a planet, exoplanet, sort of like ourselves, existing within that space and what that would look like, right? However, you got to look at the gravitational force of having 3 different suns circling around in close proximity to any system where you have planets. Because again, the reason why we are what we are is because of the distance we are from the sun. If we were any further, any closer, things would be drastically different in terms of just the whole gravitational force that causes us to be what we are, right? So when people talk like that, what takes away from the respect in the conversation is when you can't really have the conversation because you're just having it from a standpoint of being somebody who's just into conspiracy, not into the actual facts of it. Like, I know we talk about conspiracy theories here, but we also break down the facts of the science that go along with the theories that we're talking about. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not sitting here saying that my paper that I did, right, on the Sirius star system is fact. That's something theoretical that I came up with based on my own inner understanding. But that is not to say, a cartoon is telling us something we need to know because we're really from another planet where we used to be green. Some people would say we used to be blue because our blood is blue, like without oxygen, and we're not from a place with oxygen, some shit like that. Like, come on, stop. Just stop.
I get you. No. These children out here nowadays, I don't know what generation this is, but these kids out here, they overdoing their hand at this point. Would you say it's the children or it's the adults that's feeding the children?
I'm be honest with you, people my age, 40, let's say roughly 40 years plus, are not really in the mind frame of like this whole, like the guy like that was on the screen. He's not really from my generation. He's not. So I get it, but they're doing way too much at the end of the day. I understand that Mr. Best can tell you I have some pretty wild theories about human origins, but I'm not one that will fool myself into this trickery. Okay, like I'm that's not what I do.
So you're pretty logical when it comes to science and math, huh?
It's not even logical about it. It's science is a methodology, right? That you come to, you
Right.
use to understand. My thing is, if your methodology is something that I might not agree with, that's fine. But at least you have one. What was his methodology? We went from ancient Kemet to a planet that we have no proof that exists to some place that has 3 suns that he didn't even justify, to physics that he didn't even mention, to birth certificates that what? And then he was trying to go on to some, and it's like, listen, what are you trying to do? You trying to teach people or confuse people? Which one? I don't know, but I'm tired of it, and I don't care how people feel. I will tell you right now that right there is the devil. Okay, if you want to raise the devil from the dead, there you go, right there.
No, I don't think that that's the devil, because the devil is very calculated. That was just in the abstract of the mind, of the human mind.
No,
that's
you know
why
how these Christians, you know
human
how
mind is a dangerous place. It's a dangerous place. I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
I said, you know how these religious people are. They want to claim the devil is everything that's negative. There you go, right there.
I don't know, but that's just, yeah, that's just.
There you go. You want the devil? There you go. You got it. There you go. The
It has
devil.
nothing to do with the devil. This guy's probably just as nice as he can be. He's just confused about logic.
Yeah, he's just ignorant as fuck. Just ignorant as fuck. But here's the thing, and like I said earlier, my issue isn't so much with people that spew dumb shit.